Hey, how you doing there? Henry Olsen here from Super Simple Guitar, and welcome to another episode of Hang with Henry. Roll the intro. All right, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. So today we're going to be taking a look at another live recording of Eric Clapton. This time it's a blues recording. This tune is Have You Ever Loved a Woman, which was originally recorded by Freddie King, who was a huge inspiration and influence on Clapton. And the recording we're going to be taking a look at now is live from the Fillmore in 1995. So back in 1995. Now, back in 1994, Clapton recorded his epic blues, just straight up blues album From the Cradle, which you have to take a look at and listen to if you haven't yet. That's just a great straight up blues album. So this is the tour promoting that album, right? And it's just, he's on fire with his blues playing in this album. It's just really, really cool to watch. He's on fire, smoking licks, smoking technique, just everything on point. He's just straight up burning up that blues. So what I'm going to have for you is a free PDF that you can download that's going to have the chord progression and also 10 licks that I'm going to come up with based on the inspiration and ideas that I got from him. Okay, so they're going to be my licks, but heavily inspired from this. Okay, so there's going to be 10 licks and the chord progression so that you can also get some ideas and some inspiration from what we hear Clapton doing here, okay? Now, there's a lot of noodling, so I'm not going to be able to show you everything, but I'm going to kind of show you the scale. We're going to watch it together. I'm going to break down some of the licks, some of the core ideas, yeah, that's about that. So let's watch Eric Clapton at his, probably his best as far as blues playing. The other blues phase that was also really, really great was with John Mayall back with the Blues Breakers. That was a great blues album too that you have to hear if you haven't yet. But for now, let's take a look at this. Okay, take it away.
Have you ever loved a woman?
That's a C.
That you tremble in pain.
Back to the C. Going to the F. F7.
So much
back to the C.
Traveling pain.
G7.
And all the time you know.
F7.
She bears
C7.
no man's name.
F7. C7. G. Okay, so that was one little circle there. Now let's take a little look at his lead, just some of it, because there's so many notes happening, so much going on. So that's the chord progression. Again, that's going to be in that free tab, but you saw me play it now. And that's just a quick change blues, 12-bar blues, quick change as they call it. If you're ever at a jam session, they say play a quick change, that's what they're referring to in the key of C. Okay, so that's what's happening here. Let's take a look at the lead a little bit now.
Have you ever loved a woman?
So sliding in from the first position, see that? So that's your first position pentatonic. But then he's kind of, and what you'll hear him do a lot in this recording is these, so he'll really accent the root note by playing it multiple times like that. Right? So you'll hear a lot of that as we go, okay? And the scale that he's using, let's just get that out of the way right away, is the blues scale, right? So you got the blue note in there, and you also got the 9th in there, and the 6th, or also the 13th. So the 6th is also referred to as the 13th. I don't want to confuse you, okay? And the 9th is the second interval, just the octave higher up. So it's the second, it's called the 9th if you're octave higher than the root. So anyway, I don't want to confuse you. Sounds like this. That's the blue note. That's the blue note. And that's the blues scale that you're going to hear all of these blues guys play. Robin Ford, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, David Gilmour. That's the scale that you're always going to hear. B.B. King, right? So that's the scale. Keep watching. You can see he's playing fast. slowed it down. So we got some fiery licks in. Some fast stuff happening, and then he goes. Then he slows it down a little bit, right? Let's.
Have you ever loved a woman?
See how he's. The dynamics are not as aggressive. It was. He did some fast stuff, then he goes. He kind of takes it down a little bit, right? Which is really, really nice. And that's just a subtlety that you might not consciously think about, but that's why his blues playing feels so good to listen to. It's not just the sound of him playing, but you can feel him. You know, they say that great players like Stevie Ray Vaughan or Clapton, you can feel them. It's not just a sound. And I mean, just look at his face, the emotion on his face. He's, you know, his soul is coming through the notes that he's playing. Okay, so listen for that.
So much
Listen to the vocal.
traveling pain.
And let's not forget Layla, right? Have you ever loved a woman, you know, that belongs to another man? This is what he went through with George Harrison, right? And Layla. I don't think her actual name was Layla, but he went through this. And I think that's why he can play this tune with so much emotion, because he has loved a woman that belonged to another man who was his best friend, George Harrison, right? So just a cool little fun fact there if you didn't know that. All right, that was really nice. So going into the 5 note, he did a little hammer on from that minor third. And then to accent that 5, right, he did that little thing I showed you before where he plays it multiple times just to really drill that tonality into your head. Again, I'm going to have 10 of these licks printed out for you in that free tab, okay?
When all the time you know she bears another man's name. Have you
Nice.
ever loved a woman with so much? It's a
Again, that thing, right?
shame and a sin. Have you ever loved one? So much, it's a shame and a sin.
Oh yeah, you hear that? So we're getting close to that 5 chord, right? And to get into that, he does this really cool rake. Right? So it's a rake into the 1, which really gives it some, you know, some dramatic feel to it. And then when he goes to the 5 chord, the G, he hits that G again with more attack and again multiple times like I was showing you before. Okay, so let's listen to that one more time.
It's a shame and a sin.
You hear that? Right, nice.
When all the time you know she belongs to your very best friend.
She belongs to your very best friend. Okay, now we're moving into the solo, and you can see he decides to start off. He decides to start off in a low register, lower than we were before, and he also, I think, is using his fingers a little bit to get. Right? Right? I think he's using his fingers a little bit for that attack. Let's keep watching. No, he's not using his fingers. He's using his pick. But it kind of sounded like that. It kind of sounded like that a little bit because of the lower register. But anyways, let's keep going. Listen to that bend. I'm not sure exactly where it was. Yeah, there it was. There it is again. So this is a really interesting bend to do. He's bending from the fifth, right? The fifth into that minor seventh, which is a, you know, pretty far bend. And it has a really distinctive sound to me. That bend from the fifth to the minor seven has a really bluesy sound to me. I really like the sound. And the cool thing is, if you underbend, you're going to get to the sixth. And it's really hard to overbend because you'd have to bend super high. So it's a really cool and kind of safe bend. Right? Let's go back. You hear it? Now he's going all the way down. Going as low as you can go, right? One thing that I want to point out here is something that Clapton does a lot, right? And anytime he has two notes, I'm back at the first position here now. Anytime he has two notes that are right on top of each other in the same fret, he'll do this thing. See that? So I'm going 4, 3, 4, right? So it's this. And that allows him to do these fast runs. Right? So. And he does that here as well, because he has these two strings above each other, like I showed you here. So, okay, I'm gonna have one of those tabbed out in the tab for you, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, but that's something you'll see him do all the time. There's that band again. Now we're going up. So he started his journey lower, kind of taking advantage of that spanky sound. Right? Right? And then he starts moving up, right? And now as he moves up, look at his face. You can see he's feeling it. It's not just playing the notes. He is feeling these notes. He is living through these notes, okay? And now listen also how the band kicks in. So they know, okay, we've done that first round of the 12-bar blues. Now we're going to raise the energy. You know, you could compare it to, it's a climax that's about to happen, okay? Just to put it in, you know, primal terms. So let's just watch. There was that thing again. See that? Where you do that? Right? Another move, and then we're going to listen to the solo that you have to know how to do as a blues player, that he does also all the time, is when you're in your first position, when you play that third note and bend up, you can hold down the first and second string. I might be a little bit out of tune here. I'm sorry about that. This thing's always going out of tune. I don't want to cut these videos, but I also don't want to play the rest of it out of tune. Okay, we're good again. So we're holding down the first and second string, bending the third string. That's the Chuck Berry thing, you know, like if you think of Johnny B. Good. So you're bending up the third string. And then you have your first finger here barring down the first and second string, which is allowing you to play these fast. Right? Right? So remember that. That's a really, really important one. Okay? So now it's just full throttle ahead, okay? Opening everything up. So that was like this. So hammer on from the 8th to 11th fret with a pull up. Go up to the second string and then back down. See that? Then same concept, just how. Wow. Woo! So he started out low, kind of took his time, went higher. The band came in. Let's listen to the solo one more time. The band kicked in. We kind of got to that climax. The people can feel it. That's where they're clapping. And now we're kind of coming back a little bit. Opening it all up. There's that. Listen to that bend. That's the thing I was showing you before. Just not here. It's huge bend. Come on. This is as good as it gets. I'll let him play.
When you know you can't leave her alone.
He's on fire.
Something deep inside of you won't let you bring your very best friend home.
All right, can you guess what happened there? We switched keys. So we were in C, and now we're up in D, which is just raising the whole, just the energy of the whole tune. It's giving momentum. It's taking you somewhere more dramatic by raising, the key. So we went from C to D, okay? So I think that was... Right, that thing I showed you before. Listen to that bend, how he doesn't just bend, he goes... He's not just bending up, he's really taking his time to go... He's taking you on a journey with these bends, right? That was again that thing I showed you before. Right, that's how he kind of does these quick little things there. Ending on a D. D9. Wow. I mean, all I can say is wow. So, a lot of cool takeaways. I already talked about all of them. Again, I'm going to have that tab for you. So you're going to get 10 licks inspired by this, recording. And, some key takeaways are those big, long bends, taking your time to bend, not just bending, but, taking time to do those expressive sounding bends. And then also that thing where you do, right? Start your solo low, build on it, get higher, but it's also not just you that's kind of having that, energetic climax where you're just all in. It's also the band that supports you, and then that's what the audience feels. It's not just the guitar player, it's the entire band that's growing and that energy is building, and that's why it feels so good to listen to and to be a part of, especially if you're there live. I mean, live, this is 10 times better. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little hang with Henry. Again, I'm going to have that free tab for you. Make sure to go grab it. There's a link for under this video. You're going to get the chord progression. You're going to get 10 licks inspired by this. And that's about that. If you like this lesson, give me a thumbs up. It really helps me with the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And check out my other Eric Clapton tunes that I've done. There's going to be a playlist for that as well under this video. Check that out as well. And that's about that. All right, my name's Henry Olsen. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.